Hey guys, this is Alma Viva Opera Reviews. I'm sorry to announce that there will be no more opera profiles on this channel. Just reviews. Well, am I sorry? Am I really sorry? Anyway, that's beside the point. Today we're going to review three RCA Otello recordings made in 1947, 1960, and 1978 respectively. They're all critically acclaimed recordings, some more than others, but the question is, do they all deserve the hype that they get? Do they really deserve it? Well, I guess we'll find out. So, here are the reviews. The first recording we're going to review here is from 1947 with the NBC Symphony Orchestra and Chorus conducted by Arturo Toscanini. Otello is Ramon Vinay, Desdemona is Hervanelli, and Iago is Giuseppe Valdengo. This recording is considered by many to be the best recording of Otello. Well, it's a good recording. I can't say that it's bad, but it's just with all the hype that it gets, it's a little underwhelming, and I'll tell you exactly why. The sound is not overly good here. It's 1947 mono sound, which is slightly muffled, and there are no sound effects. Even though this is 1947, this puts it in an immediate disadvantage with later recordings, because later recordings have, again, the advantage of great sound. I think the poor sound is the weakest point of this one, personally. The orchestra plays adequately. It doesn't have the satisfying, pain of the Vienna Philharmonic or the London Symphony, but it's adequate, and maybe this is because of the sound quality again. Toscanini is actually, I think, the best point of this recording, and I know everybody says that, so I'm just going to go into detail. He conducts at a steady pace, and this could be a good thing or a bad thing, but for me it's a good thing. He conducts so steadily, and he conducts, everything the same way. And it's very unique, and it's very fun to listen to in general. He does have a few rushed moments, but the sheer steadiness, which is the opposite of Alberto Herrera in 1954, really just makes up for the small chinks in the armor. The chorus is fine, but again, it doesn't have the entertaining, fiery qualities of other choruses, such as the Ambrosian Opera Chorus or the Vienna State Opera Chorus. And yes, maybe this is due to the sound quality, but it's still a minus to this recording. Now you see, or at least I hope that you see, how the sound quality is starting to hamper this recording. Okay, now let's get to the most important part of any opera recording. The singers. Vinay's singing goes forward a lot, and he does not sing piano and only sings forte up until Dio mi potevi scagliar. That's the turning point, when his high notes stop sounding forced and actually sound comfortable, and when he actually starts to act. It's honestly nuts how in the moment right before Dio mi potevi scagliar, he doesn't act with his voice at all, and he just sings coldly, but then he actually starts to become a wonderful Otello. However, it's kind of too late for me. That isn't to say he is unbearable, but definitely worse than other Otellos. Now, Giuseppe Valdengo as Iago has many of the same problems as Aldo Proti in the same role in the 1954 recording. He's bland and he doesn't offer subtlety at all. I'm surprised Toscanini didn't coach him on the part more. He was there during the premiere after all. That's what baffles me about this recording. And Valdengo doesn't change at all. He's still unsubtle, he shouts, and he does it for the whole recording, unlike Vinay, and that's very disappointing. Hervanelli is a Desdemona whose high notes are sometimes too airy, but at least she's subtle, at least she does piano, and honestly it's just like a breath of fresh air. But she doesn't offer anything unique to the role of Desdemona. She doesn't have that, girlish, caressing tone of Renata Scotto, and that, more powerful, but still sweet interpretation of Renata Tibaldi. All in all, this is a good recording, but underwhelming. It's better than the 1954 recording for sure, however. I wouldn't mind if I were at a party and someone just started playing this, but it isn't the best recording of Otello. 6 out of 10? It's very by the books. I had a little bit of an interesting experience with this next 1960 recording. I didn't see a single bad review of it, and everyone said it was wonderful. So I went and got it from the local library. When I listened to it, a mystery rose up that is harder to solve than Bigfoot or Atlantis. How is this recording so critically acclaimed? I can't solve this mystery for the life of me. I really can't. It baffles me how this recording is so loved and worshipped. Gramophone even says that it's better by far than the 1961 recording with Delmonico. so I want to be the first guy on the internet to actually give an honest review of this recording. You know, guys, the only reason I considered giving the 1954 recording a 4 out of 10 is because this one existed. It's the embodiment of the phrase, could have been worse. Now that I'm doing this review, I kind of regret giving the 1954 a 3 instead of a 4. The stars are John Vickers in the role of Otello, Levine in the role of Desdemona, and Tito Gobbi in the role of Iago. It's conducted by Tullio Serafin with the Rome Opera Orchestra and Chorus. The one pet peeve I have with modern studio recordings, whenever they have it obviously, is blurry audio, and that is abundant here. The singers are also sometimes under-mic'd, like Tito Gobbi in a few places in Credo, even though we know he had a gigantic voice. John Vickers in a few places also under-mic'd, although, now that I think about it, maybe it's better not to hear him. The Rome Opera Orchestra is underpowered because it is strained to the maximum in heavy moments like the opening scene, in which we see the chorus giving ugly singing as well. They're great in the 1965 Turandot, but this is not a good performance for them. Serafin conducts too lovingly. He's supposed to lash out in dramatic moments, like Levine or Carillon. Instead, he treats this a little bit like a bel canto opera. He's better than almost every other one of his recordings, and this is not a triumph for him. There are almost no sound effects, save for Otello putting his scimitar on the table in Act 4. There are a few sword clangs, I think, but other than that, it's just dry in terms of sound effects, and this is very unusual for an RCA recording. So now let's get to the singers. The biggest problem with this recording, and the person who pretty much single-handedly ruins it, is John Vickers. I could probably count the number of high notes where he is not 100 notes flat on one hand. This is unacceptable for a studio recording. His voice also sounds strained a lot, and it's obvious that he doesn't have a high C, because he does not take the high C before Dio mi potevi scagliar. I hear everyone talking about his divine piani, but they're missing here. Sorry, folks. Don't see him. His voice is not one for anything close to Otello. Leonie Rysanek is too dramatic for Desdemona. After all, she doesn't have that loving, caressing quality in her tone, which Desdemona needs, especially in the Willow song. It's bearable, unlike Vickers, but it's not great. The one redeeming quality of this recording, the only one, is Tito Gobbi's Iago. It is absolutely legendary. It may not be as good as Milne's, but it's very close. He has piani, he's powerful, his voice is perfect for the role, and he is just a wonderful Iago in general. Of course, he can't pull this recording out of the mess that it is already in, but at least there's something good. This recording shows that a horrible main singer can ruin a recording. I wouldn't be so hard on this recording if people weren't saying that it is way better than any other ones, and that it is the best recording of Otello. I understand that this is Vickers' first take on the role, but you cannot say that this is better than the 1961 recording. 2 out of 10. This would have been a 0 if not for Gobbi. This is the worst recording of Otello, not the best. Now let's finally get to a good recording. This was my first audio recording of Otello, and it is way better than both of the ones I've reviewed here so far. I listed this one as my recommendation in my Otello opera profile, and with good reason. There is one recording that comes close, which I will review in the future, but this one is the best. Otello is Placido Domingo, Desdemona is Renato Scotto, and Iago is Cheryl Milnes. It's conducted by James Levine with the London Symphony Orchestra and the Ambrosian Opera Chorus. This is 1978, and the sound is great and satisfying to listen to, especially in the opening scene. You really feel that the singers are close to the shore, and it has a very unique quality. There are lots of sound effects, thunder, sword clangs, just lots of them. There is no blaring, and every singer is mic'd just as he personally needs to be. This is a great sounding stereo Otello. Geez, I understand why Levine thought RCA needed a remake Otello. This is an orchestral and choral triumph. The London Symphony Orchestra packs a punch, and it delivers the ringing tones which you want from an orchestra. The Ambrosian Opera Chorus, in my opinion, is the best opera chorus. They have power and they have beauty, and it's something you need to listen to believe. As conductor, James Levine is very Italianate and exciting. He also brings out sweet string notes. He can be subtle, and he can be loud, and that's brilliant. Placido Domingo as Otello is powerful, though maybe less so than Delmonico in the 1961 recording, but he does have a loud voice when it needs to be. He also sings sweetly in the love duet with Desdemona, and has that tragic, somber quality in Dio mi potevi scagliare, non mi tema, a wonderful Otello. Renato Scotto has a caressing and girlish quality in Desdemona which we need as an audience. She knows how to sing piani, and pity flows out of us when we know that she will die chaste, even though she is believed falsely by Otello to be cheating on him. This is her best performance. Cheryl Milnes is the best Iago on record. He has a more beautiful voice than Gobi, which makes him better as Iago. He is very good at imitating Cassio's voice in Era la Notte, and is extremely powerful when he needs to be as well. He demonstrates wonderful vocal acting skills in the whole recording, and his drinking song, Inafia Lugula, is very fun to listen to. Piani and pianissimi are abundant here. This is the best recording of Otello because it achieves the admirable feat of having a good singer in every single role. The best RCA Otello. 9 out of 10. If Domingo had had just a bit more power, this would have been a 10. Whew. Finally, all 3 of the RCA Otello recordings have been reviewed on this channel. I like the Domingo one the best. Comment which one you like the best. Send this to all of your friends, like, and subscribe. And as always, thanks for watching.